In the previous video, we stopped at prime numbers, in which I explained prime numbers as those numbers which can only be divided by 1 and themselves. That is, prime numbers only has 2 factors, which are that particular number and 1. Today, we move to prime factors. What are prime factors? Prime factors simply means all the prime numbers that can be derived from the factors of a particular number. I repeat, prime factors are those prime numbers, all the prime numbers that you can derive from the factors of a particular number. For instance, if you are asked to find the prime factors of 40, what are the prime factors of 40? The fact is that prime numbers and prime number and factors, they work hand in hand. Don't get it twisted. This is it. There is something we call factor. There is something we call prime numbers. Before you can find the prime factors of any number, you need to know the factors of those numbers, then the prime numbers of those factors. Let me use this as an example so that you can understand better. You are asked to find the prime factors of 40, right? The first thing you need to do is to find the factors first. First step. Factors of 40. So what are the factors of 40? 2 is a factor of 40, right? Because 2 can be divided, but you can use 2 to divide 40 without any remainder, right? Is 3 a factor of 40? No. 3 is not a factor of 40, because if you use 3 to divide 40, there will be remainder. Is 4 a factor of 40? Yes, 4 is a factor of 40. Because if you use 4 to divide 40, it leaves no remainder. And don't forget that we need to find all the factors of this 40 before we can find the prime factors in which we are requested to find. What other numbers are the factors of 40? 5. If you use 5 to divide 40, it leaves no remainder. 40 divided by 5 is 8. What other factors? We also have 8. 8 is also a factor of 40, while 10 is another factor of 40. 20 is also a factor of 40. So 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, and 20 are all factors of 40. That is the first step. The next step, the second step, is to now find the prime numbers. Prime numbers among all these factors. The first step is to find the factors, while the second step is to find the prime numbers among these factors. And what is prime numbers? If you remember, in our previous video, I explained prime numbers as those numbers that can be divided by 1 and itself. They normally have only 2 factors. So what are the numbers? What are prime numbers among these factors? 2 is a prime number. Is 4 a prime number? No, because you can use 1 to divide 4. You can use 2 to divide 4. And you can also use 4 to divide 4. And prime numbers are numbers that can only be divided by 1 and itself. I hope you are getting me. So 4 is not a prime number. Is 5 a prime number? Yes. 5 is a prime number because you can only divide 5 by 1 and itself. No other number can divide 5 except 1, and he said if you use any number to divide it, there will be remainder. So therefore, the same thing is applicable to 8. 1 can divide 8, 2 can divide 8, 4 can divide 8. So 8 is not a prime number. 10 is not also a prime number. 20 is not a prime number. So this simply means that our prime numbers among these are 2 and 5, and that makes our prime factors now are 2 and 5. Our answer is that. So when you are being asked in mathematics to find the prime factors of any number, and that is the reason why I explained in the first place, I said prime factors are all the prime numbers that can be derived, from all the factors of a particular number, from all the factors of 40. Can you now understand my definition of prime factors now? Okay, so our answer will now be prime factors. Our answer is 2 and 5. It's as simple as that. The next one is rational number. When we call a number a rational number in mathematics, are those numbers that can be expressed in form of fraction. That is, their exact value can be determined. And what are the examples of those rational numbers? We have something like 2 over 3. We have something like 1 over 5. We have something like 3 over 2. It doesn't really matter the arrangement. So far the numerator is whole number, and the denominator is also a whole number. So that makes it a rational number. 2 over 3 or 3 over 2. The one at the top, the numerator is whole number, and the denominator is also a whole number. So that makes it a rational number. Why non-rational number are those numbers in which their exact value cannot be determined. Any number that their exact value cannot be determined, we call them non-rational numbers in mathematics. That is, they cannot be expressed in form of fraction. And what are the examples of non-rational number? We have something like the square root of 2. If you find the answer for the square root of 2, you will realize that the calculator will give you 2.3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 3, 2, 1. It will just continue like that. So their exact value cannot be determined. We also have something like this, pi. If you press pi in your calculator, the answer the calculator is going to give you some values like that, and the value will continue, maybe 3 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 1, 3, and so on. And that is the reason why they call them non-rational numbers. They are also called irrational numbers. I hope you understand. So anytime they are talking about non-rational number, rational number, I hope you can easily understand what they are asking you to do, because some questions are coming in which we are going to be making use of all these terms. So you need to understand these terms perfectly in order for you to be able to solve those questions. When we say square, what do we mean? Square simply means the multiplication of a particular number in 2 times. For instance, you are being asked to find the square of 2. It simply means you should multiply these 2 in 2 times. Find the square of 5. It simply means you should multiply it in 2 times. It's as simple as that. The same thing is applicable to cube of a number. Cube simply means multiply it in 3 times. Multiply it in 3 times. So this one will now be times 2. Onometa times 5. The same number, multiply it in 3 different places, in 3 different times. That's the meaning. It's as simple as that. When you are asked to find the square root of a number, the square root simply means you should, for instance, you have 4. Find the two numbers. In which one you multiply the two numbers together, it will give you the exact value in which you are being requested to. Then you pick one. If you multiply, okay, find the square root of 9. You are being asked to find the square root of 9 now. They are directly or indirectly telling you, directly telling you to find two numbers in which one you multiply the number together, it will give you the exact value. And that is referred to as the square root. When we say reciprocal in mathematics, we are talking about inverse. Whatever value you are being asked to find the reciprocal of it, you are to find the inverse. For instance, if you are asked to find the reciprocal of 3, you are asked to find the reciprocal of 1/2. How do you find the reciprocal? You just do the inverse. Inverse simply means turn it upside down. This is 3. And 3 means 3/1, right? If you are to find the reciprocal of 3 now, then it becomes 1/3. You are being asked to find the reciprocal of 1/2. If you are to find the reciprocal of 1/2 now, it becomes 2/1, which is equally 2. It's as simple as that. Perfect square. Perfect square simply means any number that has the power of 2, which is 2 raised to power 2. The power is 2. Any number, any question you are given that has the power of 2 is what we refer to as perfect square. Be ye 5 is a perfect square. Be ye 2 is a perfect square. 3 raised to power 2 is a perfect square. So all these are perfect square, and so on like that. So in order for you to understand this basic arithmetic perfectly, you need to understand all these terms before you can be able to solve all the questions perfectly. Because there are some questions that are very technical, in which your understanding of these terms will enable you to be able to solve those questions perfectly. Thank you. I hope you understand this explanation very well. If you have any question, put it in the comments section. I will reply to it, and I will be able to help you explain it better. Thank you. See you in the next video.